Do you do, by the way, Mo, do you do financial planning for your clients?
Not so much, but I talk about maybe doing it. Like I feel like it's something important. But
You do 1040s, you have to tie it into financial planning. Doesn't mean you can get paid extra for the financial planning, but you don't want the client to think that you're the greatest tax preparer. You want him to think that you're the greatest person that he trusts more than anybody else in the world. And
so you have a checklist for that, I'm assuming.
Well, my whole life is a checklist for that.
I might do it inadvertently, but
you got to learn to do financial planning. You got to learn what it is. Now, I've done a lot of financial planning. In fact, I have checklists in my thing about when you have an engagement and what to do for clients. But if you do tax returns, it leads to financial planning. It leads to helping people that want to get into business. It leads to people that maybe could get ownership in the company they work for. These are the kind of things that the tax return leads to. So if you want to grow your practice, you want to make more money, you want to get paid for the premium services, you have to give the clients a reason to think that they must turn to you first. And that means you have to wow them every time you speak to them.
Okay.
And the way we do it is with financial planning. Let me ask you a personal question. Do you have kids?
Yes.
How many kids you got?
4 kids, kind of.
4 kids. How old's the oldest?
12.
And the youngest?
Is 4.
Okay. Do you have at least $2 million of life insurance?
I have 1 million in with the CPA.
Okay, let me ask you something. How much do you pay? Why do you have $1 million and not 2 million?
That's what my dad sells insurance. He told me to get that, and I've been doing it for a bunch of years already, and I never increased it.
So let me ask you a question. You have 4 kids. God forbid you drop dead prematurely. Your wife has $1 million. She can get $40,000 a year, maybe $45,000 a year income. Is that going to be enough to maintain her the way she's living right now without having to move back to her parents or whatever? Is that sufficient?
No.
The answer is no, it's not.
No,
let me tell you something else. At age 42, you could have $2 million of term insurance. By the way, the AICPA is term insurance. Okay, how much do you pay for it? Do you know?
I think it's like $350, $400 or something. And then you always get a refund every year.
$350 a year? That's great.
It's hold on, 215. Maybe it's 400. It's not more than 500
a year.
Yeah,
that's great. So for another, so you're older now. So maybe for 800 or 900, you get another $1 million, and you have $2 million. And now your wife gonna be upset you're not around. It'll be disruptive. She's gonna have hard making ends meet, but she'll have $80,000 a year to do it with.
Right.
Not counting money that's going to eventually come out of the $2 million. Now, what I just did for you is financial planning that you should do with every client you have. And you should get to know an insurance broker who will sell a $2 million term policy, fixed premium for 20 or 30 years. See, for the 4-year-old, you should have at least a 20-year term policy. Okay. So you get fixed premium, guaranteed renewable for 20 years. This is financial planning. I do this a lot. I don't get paid for it.
I was just going to ask you about
because I'm not going to sit down with Mo and say, Mo, I want you to pay me $1,000 and I'm going to tell you to buy more life insurance. But as your accountant, I become elevated to your financial planner, to your financial advisor. Someone's looking out for you. and I'm not selling anything, so I'm not trying to get something from you.
And do you try to get commissions on stuff like that, or?
Yeah, I won't take. I've never taken a penny commission from anybody.
And that's the way to do it.
By the way, if you could find a life insurance guy that will sell a term policy, that in itself is good, because they don't want to sell term policies.
Right.
And then if you want a commission out of that, forget it. But no. Plus you lose your independence.
Right.
But the point is that there's a lot of opportunity when you do a 1040 for a client. Did he ever give you the statement of the 401k by mistake or their IRA statement?
Absolutely. They don't know what to send, so a lot of times they send those balances. A lot of times they're not high. So
okay, so now when you look at it, you see how much they got in the stock market in their 401k or IRA. Then you look at their 1040, see if they have any savings, if they have in a savings bank or in a stock market. And now you could talk to them about how they should invest their 401k or IRA money. These are short, cool. I don't do tax returns anymore. I have the one tax return. Actually, I don't do any returns. I have one client that we charge him over $300,000 for his tax return. And I don't do any of the work. I make sure everybody in my firm that's supposed to work on it works on it. But when I did tax returns, I would spend an hour with a client to get their tax information. And I would see 40, 50 clients during tax season. I'd rent a room in New York in a suite, and I'd make an hour back-to-back meetings. I loved it. I had a great time. And I would spend 20 minutes getting their tax information and 40 minutes talking about their plans, their goals, what they want to do, how much life insurance they have, stuff like that. And that made me their financial advisor. And then if I charged them a little extra for the tax return, they're not going to say anything. They're not going to care. And all of a sudden, I transitioned. It didn't happen in one day, but I transitioned and becoming their trusted financial advisor, where I was the only one. Well, I was the first one they called before they did anything. I should have my book right on my ear.
Memoirs of a CPA.